Welcome back, YouTubers, to the British Fists review of the Ring of Honor Death Before Dishonor 9 iPPV.
Gotcha.
Good indeed. I was a bit out of sync there, but I am Mr. Parkin, and this guy sitting next to me is the one and only NJ.
What's up?
Master analysis of wrestling he is. Now, make sure you guys subscribe up above, like this video, and get your comments on the pay-per-view, or the iPPV, I should say, down below. I can't do that as well as you.
And please make sure you contact us in the link in the description box below.
Of course. Anyway, so going into this pay-per-view, this iPPV, I should say, ROH usually puts on a very good show. We know that, don't we?
True. And
we had to pay $15 to get this, and we did pay the money, by the way. There was no titles on the line. The card I didn't think looked very, very good. But we always know that they're going to put on a decent wrestling show, and I just wonder if this is going to be a good enough show to be worth my $15 this time. This is the one show I think they've done that I feel that they may not earn my $15.
The one special thing about this though is the first time the British Fist have reviewed ROH together.
Yeah, and it's the first time we watched it live and reviewed it live.
There we go, that's another good point.
So let's get on to the opener then.
Let's go for it.
So to start off this iPPV, we had the match which I really wasn't looking forward to the most, mainly because we have our TV champion, Jay Lethal, who won it on the TV tapings, which don't air until after this iPPV, stuck inside this whole tag team match. It was Tommaso Ciampa and Rhino versus Jay Lethal and Homicide. And I can see what they're trying to do here. Remember on the last iPPV we saw Rhino versus Homicide, and that's in that no holds barred match. So they're trying to combine that feud and get the Jay Lethal in. But I still think Jay Lethal should be defending his TV title on this iPPV. I don't know about you. It should really happen on an iPPV.
To have a championship match at a pay-per-view would have made sense. So yeah, I agree with that.
Especially seeing as they only really put out 5 iPPVs like this a year. You know what I mean? Do you really need your TV? Do you really need your championships defended? This is one of the things I have with this show. No titles were defended, and that takes a lot away from it, in my opinion. Really downgrades it, especially for an ROH show. And they only have 5 of these a year, especially going into their TV tapings.
That does sound pretty bad indeed.
The match itself, even though it was disappointing to see the TV champion stuck in this match, the match was decent, I guess. It got 10 minutes. They got the worst match, in my opinion, out of the way first, which really needed to happen.
Well, the thing I want to say is that for an opener, they could have had a better match that got the crowd more alive, more with it. And this one, as for what's been said, it just didn't really live up to what it should have done.
All I'll say is at least it got the match out of the way first. The right person got the pin. Tommaso Ciampa with the winning streak got the spike powerbomb on Homicide. It means Jay Lethal, the TV champion, doesn't look weak. And the Tommaso Ciampa continues his winning streak, which is good. After the match, the Embassy beat on Homicide. Jay Lethal makes the save. So you have your TV champion looking decent and not getting pinned. So I guess that kind of does justice there for Jay Lethal. But overall, the opener was decent. It was probably the worstly booked match, I think, in terms of the actual people in it. So to get that out of the way first is probably the best thing to do, in my opinion. And thank God they didn't have any random-ass 4 corners match in this iPPV, because they always fucking do that.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. I guess decent opener. It got a decent amount of time. It's just that I feel that Jay Lethal really should have defended his championship at this iPPV. Just that's it.
I agree with that. You should have done.
Right, let's go on to the next match then, NJ.
The next match I was more wanted to see, because from Shelton Benjamin in the WWE to move into now ROH, I was expecting another good match from him, and he goes up against
Prodigy Mike Bennett. The Prodigy.
And this match, I think, from what was seen in the match, it was a good match, but at the same time, it was pretty random.
Notice how this is another champion not involved in a title match at pay-per-view. You have Shelton Benjamin and Charlie Haas in singles action. I can understand you've got the main event as a ladder war for the number 1 contendership, but I really wanted to see Shelton Benjamin and Charlie Haas in a title match. I wanted to see them defend their titles again, especially seeing as this is one of 5 iPPVs you get a year from Ring of Honor. You know, I like to see Shelton Benjamin in a singles match. He's a great singles wrestler. And against the Prodigy Mike Bennett, I was actually looking forward to this match, because we knew this match was going to be decent, and it was decent. It was, I thought it was pretty decent. What did you think? I mean, you saw the last 5 minutes, didn't you?
And for what could be seen, we all know Shelton Benjamin is a great performer, and he actually showed it brilliantly in this match. And I think, again, it would have been better if it was a tag match, but I do give it. Shelton Benjamin did put on a good fight.
Yeah, I think it's Shelton Benjamin's 2nd singles match in ROH. But I guess the right guy won. Shelton Benjamin is the tag team champion. He won the match after a failed interference from Brutal Bob. He hits the finisher, which is very similar to R-Truth's finisher, I might add. And it makes sense. It makes sense that you have your tag team champion win in Shelton Benjamin. So I guess all in all, the segment achieved what it's supposed to achieve. get Mike Bennett on the card, get Shelton Benjamin winning, because he needs to look strong going into Glory by Honor 10 when he's going to be defending when they're going to be defending their tag championships against the winner of the main event.
It's just sad they couldn't do it this pay-per-view.
Yeah. All right then. So for the next match, we got a match which I was really looking forward to, and I know you were too, secretly, NJ. We had the Bravado Brothers versus Future Shock versus the Young Bucks. The Young Bucks, of course, making an appearance, making their reappearance into ROH. This was an elimination match, and we knew straight away from the off this was going to be like a spot fest fast match, and this is exactly what we got, wasn't it?
Good thing about this is that I'm a fan of elimination matches compared to normal tag matches, and the way this went, it was just good matches from great tag teams.
Yeah. Young Bucks obviously making their return. I think it was right to have the Bravados eliminated after 7 minutes. I do feel though this match should have been a lot higher on the card, and I do feel this match should have got a lot of time. It got 11 minutes, but for an elimination match, which is going to be very fast and full of spots and has 3 tag teams in it, I really did expect it to get a lot more time. I wanted to see that a bit more of a Kyle and O'Reilly and Generation Me or the Young Bucks on their own a bit at the end. But to have the Bravados eliminated after 7 minutes was good. The Young Bucks win the match, which I guess makes sense as it is their return. I just wish it would have got more time. I really did.
For a match like this, I know it's not one of the biggest matches that we're going to get later, but again, the way this match was and the way it had the amount of wrestlers in it, you would picture it being a longer and a later match, but sadly, for some reason, ROH thought it was best to have it now.
Yeah, well, it was a good, fast spot fest, so I guess we got what we wanted. I just wish it would have gone longer. The Young Bucks don't shake Colin O'Reilly's hands after the match. Does this mean they're heel or not? I imagine them that tag team is going to have a rivalry now, especially considering what happened in their dark match at the Best in the World pay-per-view 2011.
Well, the way they performed at the end against each other, I wouldn't mind seeing them having a feudal rivalry against each other. They would put on great matches after that.
I still think this match should have been put after the intermission, as we know the intermission really loses a lot of pace for the show, as we know. And this match would have been a great match to really get the event flowing again after that intermission. I really would have liked to have seen the match after the intermission. The match that we got before the intermission, though, was Jimmy Jacobs versus El Generico. This match is all about Jimmy Jacobs trying to turn a new leaf in ROH after being hated by the ROH fans. He had to replace Steve Corino at the last minute, trying to earn the respect of the ROH fans. So it'd be interesting to see in this match how the ROH fans, reacted to him. You know what I mean?
And the way I look at this match, again, it performed pretty well. Yeah. There was good wrestling, but there was time I thought, well, this is a bit slow.
Yeah, there was spots.
Yeah, but
not Bully Ray style, and no surrender, but still there was parts of it which did get a bit slow. But we did see some nice spots though from the top rope, the spear on the apron. But the match itself, it went about 10 minutes, and then we had the moment of Kevin Steen. Remember at Best in the World iPPV, he came in and said, "Fuck Ring of Honor." We had him come, and I think to me this is the perfect way for this match to end. No contest, so no one looks weak in it, and you have the return of Kevin Steen, which people always like. It was good to see Kevin Steen, especially the way they did it.
The way he just came out, his mic did get cut off, but he did obviously came out, had his say to get in the face of ROH. I think it interfered in the match a bit, which dragged the ending a bit messed up, but obviously it was a good part of ROH. And
Steen kicks ass in the ring. You even have Cornette hitting a little pussy punch on him as well, which is quite funny. This is exactly the way the match should have ended, in my opinion. It's a great post-match segment, even if it did kind of mess up the match itself. But a good way, in my opinion, to go into the intermission, even though the intermission was immediately going to claw all that steam, all that heat that we got from Kevin Steen in the ring.
That's very true. What I'm going to say before we go into the intermission is ROH.
ROH. ROH. ROH.
So now we're sitting here ready to watch the continuation of ROH, and there's this boring intermission.
What?
And again, I just wanted to start because yes, I'm trying to get myself into ROH, but these intermissions really take my feeling of what we've just had, the first half, out of the enjoyment.
This is a huge rant I have about ROH, even though I do think their product is very good and it can improve. This is one of the areas which it can improve. I fucking hate it when you have a segment like the Kevin Steen segment going into this intermission, and then this intermission just kills all that momentum it has. Can you not use the time from this intermission to have maybe some backstage segments, or use some elements of more sports entertainment elements such as that? I don't know. I'm just saying.
Because the sad thing is, if this was a bigger pay-per-view with like title matches, we had a great first half, and then this, all the build-up you've had would have
you can use this time to build up to your matches, have video packages and stuff. But ROH, I don't think they can do that on this live feed. But there we go.
It's a bit of a time waste.
It's just should we just go into the next segment of our review, NJ?
I think we should.
Yeah. So after a decent first half to the ROH show and that intermission, we get Michael Elgin versus one half of the world's greatest tag team, or wrestling's greatest tag team, Charlie Haas, in a match which got about 13 minutes. I will say one thing though. It was nice for me as a Michael Elgin fan to see Michael Elgin on the Beyond Intermission card, which really shows that Ring of Honor are thinking very highly of you. I do think this guy has the potential to be a future main eventer, especially in a company where there's only really 3 main eventers, in my opinion. What did you think of this match in general?
I'd preferred if Shelton Benjamin got higher up in the card than Charlie Haas, because I see Shelton Benjamin as the best of the two.
Right.
For this particular match, I'd say it was good. They both, of course, they made Elgin look strong in this match.
Definitely.
And they actually had Charlie Haas come back with the win at the end.
Yeah, there were some very good spots in this match. I really did want to see Elgin win, but I guess it makes sense to have one of the world's greatest tag team win just because they're going to be defending their title at Glory by Honor and you want to build them up to that. But at the same time, Elgin did look very good. I still think this guy's a future main event guy, and he'd be good in that main event because he's just one of those guys who's something a bit different than what you usually get in ROH, which is a 200-pound, 5'9" guy who you wouldn't ever see in another company main eventing. So overall, I'd say it was a good match. I enjoyed it. Once again, I just wish they were defending their tag team titles, and it would have made the main event a lot better if the tag team titles were on the line rather than the one contendership.
It would have been good to see Charlie Haas and Shelton Benjamin, because then that would have fixed my problem I had with this particular match, and it would have given us a good match for these pay-per-view.
Okay then, so now time on to, I mean, do you think that carried on from the intermission quite well? Just even though the intermission takes out a lot of it, do you think this started off the second half well?
It was a good match, I'll give it that.
Okay then. So next we get onto the 2 matches which a lot of people will be talking about from this iPPV. The first one was the Ringmaster Challenge, basically a glorified version of the 2 out of 3 falls match between Roderick Strong and Eddie Edwards. Now, this match we knew was going to be a great wrestling match. We know these two are great in the ring together. We knew this was going to get a lot of time. It did. The whole thing got about 40 minutes. But once again, it comes back down to this. You don't have your ROH World Champion on the show. It really lets it down. Imagine if this was an ROH World Championship match and not just a glorified number 1 contendership match. Just saying. What did you think of this match in general?
Okay, with me personally, when I first went to the match, obviously I thought it was a 2 out of 3 falls.
Yeah.
And then, of course, it just came to this Iron Man, so it just got me a little bit confused. But the wrestling in this match, I'm going to say it was good because they both actually wanted to win, and they had the whole involvement of that guy's manager.
Truth Martini.
And that was interesting. That had a bit of entertainment for me.
Yeah, I mean, the match was obviously brutal. You go for 40 minutes, you expect it to start off slow, and it did. What I expected in it was, I expected it to be really fast for the first fall and then to slow down going on, but it slowed down at the start and built up to a sort of a good finish. The first fall, Roderick Strong won the first fall at about 12 minutes. Eddie Edwards won the second fall at about 20 minutes via submission. And then we had this Iron Man match, which went on for 15 minutes. It was 1-1 after about 35 minutes in the whole match, 15 minutes in the Iron Man match. So we get a draw, but then Jim Cornette comes out and says that the match will continue. And the match continues for about 10 minutes. These guys are just brutally, can't barely move. And they told a decent story because of that, and Eddie Edwards wins the match. So I know I expected Eddie Edwards to win it, just because Roderick Strong was the world champion a while back, and I wouldn't really want to see Roderick Strong versus Davey Richards down the line, personally.
Well, they did put on, when it came to the end of the match, to get the final pinfall, it did actually become a strong match then.
Yeah, so, I mean, overall, I don't really know what to say about this match, because it was a very good match. I just wish that it would have been a World Heavyweight Championship match. I just wish that Davey Richards would have been there. I still feel that the Ring of Honor should have had Eddie Edwards keep the title, especially if Davey Richards is going to miss his pay-per-view at the Best in the World pay-per-view. At least now we'll probably be able to see them build up a Davey Richards Eddie Edwards feud, which is what we want to see, using their TV time, going into their pay-per-views with this TV time they have. So I guess this really did well to set that, and I personally thought it was a great match. It was going to be hard for Ladder War, even Ladder War, to follow this, in my opinion. What did you think overall?
Overall, it was a good match leading on to the main event.
Okay then, so the main event, which we all wanted to watch, because it's the 3rd ever ladder war in Ring of Honor history, and the reason why these ladder wars only occur once every 2 years is because they're fucking brutal. We had the Briscoe brothers versus All Night Express in a ladder war, and this was This was brutal, wasn't it? This was so incredibly brutal. You had the great wrestling match of Roderick Strong and Eddie Edwards, and then you had the brutal match of the All Night Express versus the Briscoes. It was a good combination. This was definitely worth the main event. Really, in my opinion.
This match I was entertained by. They had all these good spots here, there, big ladders, little ladders, jumps off, breaking tables, ladders, chairs. It was just full of great moments, and I'm thinking this match made definitely a good main event.
Definitely. I was really, really impressed by this main event. I knew Ladder War would deliver. It's just a shame, again, the tag team titles weren't on the line in this, and it was a number one contendership. But I guess it does all right to set up for the next iPPV, which is Glory on a 10, because the Midnight Express, the All Night Express win after 28 minutes. If you notice, after 20 minutes, no one climbed the ladder because they just wanted to brutalise each other so much. This was a feud that's been building up for a good sort of year now. So I guess it was a good way to end the feud and set up for the next pay-per-view. I just wish it would have been a tag team title match. That's just my thoughts.
No, I'm just really happy with this match. I entertained it. I thought this was a great main event and a good way to finish the pay-per-view.
Definitely. And to have All Night Express win the title shot, and they've never had a title shot. They've never won the tag team championships before, so for them to get a tag title shot in this was very good. You know, what did you think of the second half of the show? Do you think the second half of the show? I mean, obviously, I think it was the better half, but that's because the two matches I was looking forward to most were here. But
the order and the card weren't great, but the second half, I did say it picked up, maybe for the first half.
I still think the elimination tag team match should have been the match after the intermission, but that is just it. Shall we go on to overall thoughts then, NJ?
We'll go on to the overall thoughts now, Dan.
So I'll go to you first, NJ. What were your overall thoughts on our second viewing of an ROH iPPV?
Okay, the way I'm going to see it, obviously I'm still getting to ROH, and the way I see this is that the ordering of the matches just were wrong in my opinion. The match itself, there was slow starts and the match just build up to a good finish in some cases. The matches, there was no championship matches, which you said about there being about 5 pay-per-views a year or something, and for one of them not to have a championship match, and it just a letdown.
Yeah, I did feel that too.
And I think as it went on, it just, again, I'm still getting to the feeling of ROH.
Yeah, I mean, the show overall, I thought the ordering of the card was a little bit weird in my opinion. I thought the opener was correct. I thought the Bravado Brothers, I thought the elimination tag match should have been a lot higher on the card. No championships, like NJ said, really does make it feel a little bit weak in my opinion. The show itself, I was entertained by this show personally. I thought there was a lot of good wrestling in there. I thought the combination of the two main events was very good. You had great wrestling in one and a brutal match in the main event, which I thought was correct. Ladder War was the correct place to put a main event. It also helps build onto the next pay-per-view, Glory by Honor, when they're going to have their TV tapings. This show was really let down by a lack of championships, in my opinion, and some of the matches were a bit random as well, which I really didn't enjoy. You know, ROH are not best about storylines, but you know, some of the matches were good. So I guess I was entertained throughout. What would you give this overall as a grade? Just a quick grade, generally.
If I had to give one, maybe a C, C-.
Yeah, I mean, for me, personally, I would be a little bit higher than that. C+, maybe B-. I don't think it was as good as Best in the World, so for that, I'll give it a C, C+, just because no titles on the line. I don't think it was as good as Best in the World. The iPPV itself wasn't as impressive, and the second half, although it was very good, just couldn't live up to the Best in the World iPPV. And although I thought the first half was decent, still that intermission lets it down, though.
Again, me personally, I'm a WWE slightly TNA fan, so that's why I'm going to probably give it a C-.
Okay then, so you've heard our opinions of ROH Death Before Dishonor 9. Make sure you get your opinions on it in that comment section below, and that has been it from me, Mr. Parkin. This guy sitting next to me, who is NJ.
What's up?
And that's goodbye from us, the British Fist.
Catching.